right, so we're going to do an additional example of a double integral where we may need to use polar coordinates to better define our region. So let's suppose that we want to evaluate the double integral over r of y dA, where our region is bound by x squared plus y squared equals 2x and y equals x. So our first step with double integral problems is to sketch our region if we can and figure out what that looks like, right? So we want to sketch R on the xy plane. So we know what y equals x looks like. We know that that's just going to be a diagonal line through the origin. So I'll go ahead and sketch that. So there is our line y equals x. And now we've got to figure out, okay, x squared plus y squared equals 2x looks like a circle. Let's write it in a way where we can better understand how the circle is positioned on our xy plane. So to do that, I'm going to complete the square. I'm going to take x squared plus y squared and subtract 2x. Actually, let me do that in a little bit of a different order. I'm going to subtract 2x from both sides and write this as x squared minus 2x plus y squared equals 0. We completed the square early in the semester when we were trying to rewrite equations of spheres. So we're going to do that again. And to complete the square here, I'm going to take 2, divide it by 2, and that gives me 1. And I know I need to add 1 to both sides of this equation so that I can get a perfect square here. And that's going to give me x minus 1 squared plus y squared equals 1. So this is a circle. We can better see now that this is a circle with center at the point 1, 0, and radius is 1. All right, so let's try to sketch that. Here's the point 1, 0, and radius of 1. So we're going to have something like this. I'm not going to draw the whole circle because I can't, but I can see the region bound by this circle and the line y equals x. And this region comes from a circle, so it would make sense to try to use polar coordinates to define our region rather than solving this for y. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to try to see, well, how might we use polar coordinates to define our region? So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to the form x squared plus y squared equals 2x and try to write this using polar coordinates. And so let's recall how we convert from polar to Cartesian and vice versa. We have a few important relationships between x, y, r, and theta. One of them is that x squared plus y squared equals r squared. Another is that x is r cosine theta. We know also that y is r sine theta. And our fourth relationship is that tangent of theta is y over x. And so in order to rewrite this equation using polar coordinates, I can see that the left side of the equation equals r squared. So we can write this as r squared equals 2 times x, and we know that x is r cosine theta. So I'm going to write 2 times r cosine theta. And I'd really like to write my circle as in terms of theta, so r as a function of theta. So I'm going to divide both sides by r, assuming r is not 0, or we could factor on one side and solve this for r. So yeah, let's factor on one side and solve for r so we don't lose one of the solutions. When we factor here, we have r minus 2 cosine theta equals 0. So this is either r is 0 or r equals 2 cosine theta. This solution, or rewriting of this equation, includes r equals 0 when theta is pi over 2. So we have changed our original equation, our original function, to r equals 2 cosine theta. And now we're ready to think about the limits of integration. So let's go back up to our sketch. And we want to find some bounds for r and some bounds for theta. So we'll start with, for r, I would like to be able to draw, if it's r simple, I would like to be between two functions of r in terms of theta. So I'm going to start at the origin and go all the way out to the function. And it seems that when I do this, I'm always between two functions of theta. The first one's 0, and the second one is r circle, r equals 2 cosine theta. So those are the bounds for r. So now we have that r is going to be less than or equal to 2 cosine theta and greater than or equal to 0. And now we need to think about theta. So theta starts at, looks like, if we go back to our diagram, that theta starts at pi over 4, which is the line y equals x. So our lower bound for theta will be pi over 4. We have less than or equal to theta. And now let's think. We are going to go in this direction until we get here. And that means that, let's see, if we start at pi over 4, this gets us back, the function gets us back to 0. And so let's figure out when that happens. So for r cosine theta, when when theta is pi over 2, that's going to give us the r that comes back to 0. So notice, r when theta is pi over 4 starts here at this point, and then it gets smaller, 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 smaller until it comes down to 0, and that happens when theta is pi over 2. So that means that theta is going to be between pi over 4 and pi over 2. Because when theta is pi over 2, we get our radius back to 0, which is what this curve is doing. All right, so we are ready to set up our integral. So our number 2 spot here is going to be, let's set this up. We found the bounds for our integral. Let's set up our double integral to find the volume of the function given. So we have double integral. I'm going to do r simple. Well, we did r simple, so we need to put r as our inner integral because r is a function of theta. And theta is going to be on the outside from pi over 4 to pi over 2 because we always want our outer integral to be between two constants. And we do need to write y in terms of r and theta, but we know that y is r sine theta. That is a relationship that we have with polar coordinates. So this is going to be r sine theta. And dA, remember that our area element in polar coordinates is r dr d theta. So we have set up our integral, and now we'll be ready to evaluate it. So let's evaluate this integral. Oops, that doesn't spell evaluate. Let me try again. Let's evaluate this integral, and I'm going to keep the outside theta from pi over 4 to pi over 2, and we have r squared sine theta dr d theta, so this is going to be r cubed over 3 sine theta, and r will go from 0 to 2 cosine theta, and then we still have d theta. Okay, so let's use the fundamental theorem on the inside. So our integrals from pi over 4 to pi over 2. And here we're going to have 8 cosine cubed theta over 3 times sine theta minus 0, because when we put in our lower limit and r is 0, that's just going to go to 0. So here we have d theta, and I'm going to go ahead and pull out 8/3, our constant, and now we have a single variable integral. And it looks like this is probably a good candidate for a u substitution, because we have a composition where cosine's being cubed. So let's let u be cosine theta, and du will be negative sine theta d theta. So that's going to introduce a negative sign. So we have a negative 8/3. And this gives us, so negative u cubed du. So this is going to be u to the fourth, or cosine to the fourth theta over 4. Evaluated from pi over 4 to pi over 2. And we have a few final steps to get to our solution. So this is 4 goes into 8 twice, so we have a negative 2/3. When theta is pi over 2, cosine is 0. So negative 2/3 times 0 minus, which will become a plus, 2/3 times cosine of pi over 4 is the square root of 2 over 2, and we're raising this to the 4th power. So this is 0, and now we've got 2/3. Square root of 2 to the 4th is 4, because, yeah, that's 4. And 2 to the 4th is 16. And so this is going to be 1/6, I believe. So 2/12, yeah, this is going to be 1/6. So this integral has a value of 1/6. The difficult part, I think, with this problem is that we're not very used to working with polar curves. And so to understand that theta is going to go from pi over 4 to pi over 2, and that's when we get back down for r equals 0, I think that's the difficult part, but I think that will come with practice, and we're not going to see a lot of regions of this type.